Good morning and welcome back. As you know, the mutual decisions process is an integral part of the entire pre-marriage course. The more you practice this, the more valuable it will be for you after you are married. Let's dive into the trigger event and how to navigate that together. Both husband and wife agree to make no independent or reluctant decisions at any time in the future. This is when any one spouse proposes to take action and communicate it to the other spouse, and the other spouse states we need to process it. Write down a brief description of the proposed desire and your reason for wanting it. Write down your spouse's response, if given, and his or her reason why. Mutually agree with your spouse upon a time, date, and place of meeting which will allow for undivided attention without interruptions for at least 30 minutes. Then the individual analysis starts for both spouses at the same time but separately. Individual analysis. Ask yourself these 4 questions and write down or remember your answers. 1. Am I being selfish? 1. What does the Lord think about this? 1. Am I so intense about this because of a past trauma that I suffered? 1. What is my spouse's point of view on this? Active listening/speaker. Listener technique. Write down your first 3 sentences that you will speak to your spouse and your spouse will repeat back to you. Joint actions are crucial for communication to clear up misunderstandings. After each spouse has completed answering the questions on their individual analysis form and written 3 sentences to present their proposal, they will convene at an agreed time to make a mutual decision with joint enthusiastic agreement by marital negotiation. No independent decisions are allowed. The purpose of active listening is to provide safety for transparency and promote understanding. Convene the decision meeting at the agreed-upon place and time. Face each other, look into each other's eyes, hold each other's hands, and then pray together to ask Christ to join your discussion and for wisdom and unity. Avoid disrespect, including negative body language, facial expressions, or moans. Give respect to the other's opinions and points of view. Halt if either of you are hungry, angry, late, or tired. Read off the following rules of active listening. For the speaker has the floor. Use an object such as a pen to show who the speaker is. Speak for yourself. Don't read your partner's mind. Express your feelings and thoughts using I statements to express your point of view. Be brief. You are allowed only 3 sentences to express your opinion. Stop and let the listener repeat what they heard. After each sentence, let your partner repeat what you just said. Restate. If there is confusion, the listener can ask for clarification. For the listener, give the speaker your undivided attention. Look at your spouse. Eye contact expresses that you are ready to listen. Body language and facial expression also indicate an interest in listening. Focus on your spouse. Try to push everything else from your mind. Listen to your spouse. Listen without interrupting, arguing, or giving advice. If you're having a strong emotional reaction to the words, notice it. Breathe in and out slowly a few times to center yourself. You will have a chance to express yourself later, but for now, just listen. Repeat what your spouse says. After each of the 3 sentences, repeat back to the speaker what he or she said. Start with, "What I hear you saying is," restate. If there is confusion, the listener can ask for clarification. Ask, "Am I understanding what you are saying correctly?" The speaker should clarify. Be empathic. Seek to understand your spouse's emotions in the situation he or she is describing. Try to put yourself in your spouse's position. The speaker reads off the proposed action to be decided. Begin communication for understanding. Speaker 1 speaks the speaker's first sentence to listener 1. Listener 1 will repeat back to speaker 1 the speaker's first sentence as best as he or she can remember, saying, "So what I hear you say is..." Speaker 1 speaks the speaker's second sentence to listener 1. Listener 1 will repeat back to speaker 1 the speaker's second sentence as best as he or she can remember, saying, "So what I hear you say is..." Speaker 1 speaks the speaker's third sentence to listener 1. Listener 1 will repeat back to speaker 1 the speaker's third sentence as best as he or she can remember, saying, "So what I hear you say is Then reverse the speaker-listener roles. The listener is handed the mic or floor and becomes the speaker, and the former speaker becomes the listener. Both follow the above rules. Speaker 2 speaks speaker 2's first sentence to listener 2. Listener 2 will repeat back to speaker 2 the speaker 2's first sentence as best as he or she can remember, saying, "So what I hear you say is," Speaker 2 speaks speaker 2's second sentence to listener 2. Listener 2 will repeat back to speaker 2 the speaker 2's second sentence as best as he or she can remember, saying, "So what I hear you say is," Speaker 2 speaks speaker 2's third sentence to listener 2. Listener 2 will repeat back to speaker 2 the speaker 2's third sentence as best as he or she can remember, saying, "So what I hear you say is," There should be good eye contact, facing each other, no negative body language, no negative tonality, and no comments or opinions on what was said. If more explanations by the two of you are needed, then repeat the process as many times as needed. Vote. One vote each, no stalemates permitted. Take a vote on Speaker 1's opinion for the decision. If the vote is 2-0, then the final decision has been reached with joint enthusiastic agreement. Then the couple must decide the details of implementation: who, how, when, and where to establish accountability. If the vote is 1-1, then take a vote on Speaker 2's opinion for the decision, and if the vote is 2-0, then the final decision has been reached with joint enthusiastic agreement. However, if the vote is 1-1, then the couple moves into negotiation by compromise and agreement. We will cover this in Lesson 3. Action. Think of a trigger event you would like to process at the community group Zoom meeting. Write the trigger event in your shared journal. Before the CG meeting, do your individual analysis and write your 3 sentences in your shared journal. At the CG Zoom meeting, there will be breakout rooms of 2 couples to practice this exercise. Mutual decision, compromise. If the vote is 1-1, then there is a stalemate and speaker-listener active listening technique stops, and the couple must move on to the negotiation, compromise, and agreement phase. The goal is to find a win-win solution. Respect is the key to success in negotiation. This cannot happen if you reject each other's perspective out of hand. Never take any action without an enthusiastic agreement between the two of you. Why enthusiastic agreement? Unless both the husband and the wife have enthusiastic agreement, it's tempting for one of them to settle for reluctant agreement, where one spouse goes along with what the other wants just to get along. Rather than winning, the reluctant spouse actually loses. Reluctant agreement leaves one spouse on the short end of the deal. It will also lead to failure to follow through. At the time of the agreement, one spouse feels pressured to agree, but when the time comes to carry out the task, he or she lacks the motivation to do so. Begin the brainstorming process. Each person takes turns and suggests possible solutions and writes them on the whiteboard or a sheet of paper, a list of up to 15 or 16. Any idea can be suggested, no matter how ridiculous it may sound, regardless of how remote. Be creative. Suggest whatever comes to mind, no matter how ridiculous it might seem. Have fun with it if you can. This is a time for a sense of humor. Do not evaluate the ideas during brainstorming, verbally or non-verbally. This includes making faces. Quantity is often more important than quality, so let your mind run wild. Go with any thought that might satisfy both of you simultaneously. When you let your creative juices flow, you are more likely to find a lasting solution. Try to think outside the box. Next, each of you as a couple mutually agree on the elimination of solutions down to maybe 3 options. Then explore as a couple whether some combination of those 3 options would be acceptable to both of you if each of you compromises your opinion. Try out different combinations. Try for a solution that would work in light of your understanding of what is important to each other. Vote on brainstorming options, 1 vote each, no stalemates permitted. Next, vote on each of the 3 options and the combination of the 3 options until a vote of 2-0 occurs, whereupon mutual decision with joint enthusiastic agreement has been reached. Do not vote yes unless you are enthusiastic about the option as the best decision for both of you. Enthusiastic agreement. You are permitted to vote yes on an option if you are enthusiastic, happy, and excited with the option. Reluctant agreement or giving in out of fear of rejection by the other is not permitted. Options and votes continue until there is enthusiastic agreement by both. Next, you as a couple shall agree upon how you will implement this decision, or who will carry it out, when it will be carried out, where it will be carried out, and how it will be carried out. Trial period. Next, the length of the trial period shall be mutually agreed upon and documented in the joint calendar. Revisit, modify, adjust. Next, the couple agrees to revisit and modify the decision at the end of the trial period if necessary. Of course, a revisit can be called at any time on any previous decision if a person has lost his or her enthusiasm for the decision. Share with one another a time your husband or wife made a mutual decision with you and how it validated you. Share your understanding of the mutual decision process and your struggle in applying this to your marriage. Write in a shared journal. Pray for each other that God will renew your mind and transform your heart to implement this in your marriage.